Hello. Good evening, Chitambala. Elias Muisha here on TV Bakwetu. I'm going to be joined by Momba Thornycroft, my co-host tonight, and then the rest of our TV Bakwetu crew, because we have a very long agenda today, very long agenda. And so I am going to give you a few minutes to spread the word around, share with as many people as possible, because just to give you a little junk of what we are talking about today, I'm going to talk about Chitambala Mwewa. Now, of course, it appears like his name is misunderstood to be Simon Mwewa Lane. No, Simon Mwewa Lane is, I think, the name of the lane where he works from, or where his building is, Simoson. And Simon Mwewa was his father. His name is Chitambala Mwewa. He's been arrested. So we've got to go dig a little bit deeper into that issue. And I'm also going to address this confusion about where the Anti-Corruption Commission and the DEC are supposed to be. are they supposed to be under State House? So I want to clarify that a little bit. And then I'll ask a question: is the mafia still in charge? That's very important. And so please do not hesitate, share, spread the word around, because tonight we've got one of the hottest TV Bakwetu programs that we can ever have. Next week, we are going satellite. On Monday, we are going to be on KBN network. And we've already got a graphic for it, so you can check it around. I'm going to give you the exact channels. On Monday, we go on satellite because we have a message for our country, and we are a collection of voices. And so we're going to let this song play, and then we're going to continue, right? Bad manners. All right. Thank you very much for joining us and for spreading word around. We've got to get started here. Good evening, Momba.
Good evening, Dr. Lasmus. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. And how is Lusaka?
Lusaka is fine. We have power today.
I'm a light now, yes, sir.
Yes, I'm a light. Twashimi amakolo boy.
Anyway, in a Koloboy, so I'm very used to Koloboy. No kuberenga muri Koloboy. Anyway, that's the difference in generations here, I think. Yeah. Linda, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you? Womba, nice to see you. Mumba. Is it
Momba?
Momba. You need to educate me on how to pronounce your name. I find it really, living in England, I find it so offensive, people mispronouncing my name. So I make it a point that I pronounce people's names correctly. So I Chinese, which I pronounce.
Which name do they mispronounce, Linda?
Idiapomtoto. Because I like to be controversial. So kuvomfiria pamto tunati mulelanda ishinari andinifi kuchita pronounce nanguni basungu.
Sasa kuaishi meshinari pamtoto.
Waisha mieve. Kanonga mwatuma masters I'll consider telling you nganatuma masters ngamwatuma masters.
Linda is saying that once you send stars, we are going to know ishinari pamtoto.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's Mumbai.
Yes. Momba.
Brilliant. Okay. Yes. Right. Good evening, viewers, and welcome to TV Bakwetu. It's great to have you. And so we have Dr. Munsha and Mumba, as well as myself. Before we get started, guys, we're going to give you a couple of seconds. Can you please just type in the chat box where you're watching us from? And if you could share the link before we get started, share the link to the WhatsApp groups or the PF groups, the groups that you belong to, even Sean Tembo, Facebook. So share. Atitanananeni. Atwalanda jani.
Itanananani.
That's the one. Itananani. Call each other before we get started. Over to you, Amuncha.
All right. Okay. Thank you. And so, you are in Sussex, Linda, right?
I am. Yeah.
Sussex, Nigui.
Sussex, England. So it's about 45 minutes away from central London.
Okay. So is it one of the compounds of London?
Not compound. Okay, no. It's so Sussex have they call them counties. Kwati Copperbelt.
Okay. So ngakafiwe like mwikara mulusaka, but Sussex ngakafiwe there.
Where? I think you have quite Lusaka. So it's like the county is a
Kafiwe.
Sussex.
Okay, Chongwe.
Oh, Chongwe.
So it's a collection of towns. So Ikulu, then Mwabama collections, Yama town.
All right. Okay. And Momba is in Lusaka proper, Lusaka itself, there?
Itself. Muine, Mulusaka muine.
So here we are. I think I look forward to we had a guest from South Korea. So I look forward to Korea, Japan, Fidia, so that we can make it a truly global show. All right. On Monday, we are going on DSTV. We are on KBN network. And so we are looking forward to that.
Exciting times.
So we are on channel. It's DSTV channel 279, 22 hours Zambian time, Chitambala time, 22 hours, and Top Star channel 102. So we are going to be there, and we have a very good first guest for our DSTV channel, and that is on Monday, 22 hours. So Facebook show, and we are going to continue with Facebook.
Well, I think we're going to continue with Facebook until we win people off Facebook, because Mark Zuckerberg the other day added to language that we don't really have to depend on Facebook. Otherwise, it will be an absolute nightmare. So we will carry on for the time being until we get all the viewers over to DSTV.
All right. And YouTube as well, because YouTube says that you don't pay enough attention to them. YouTube, you are special. In fact, one of these days, we are going to just move the entire show from Facebook to YouTube. Pantu, you're very special, and we want to grow our YouTube audience. Isn't it, Momba? Isn't it nice to have a bigger audience on YouTube?
Yes, I think we should move to YouTube, as I know we already are there. I have caught up a few of the shows there, but we need to grow our viewership. Songa Twaya satellite, we still stay on YouTube, na Facebook to alike, and so that, I mean, we need to catch everyone wherever they are most comfortable or where it is most convenient for them. So yeah, that's my
All right. So Momba and Linda, I want you to help me out here because I want to vent a little bit.
Yeah, to rant.
Vent away, Munsha. What's on your heart?
What's the difference between venting and ranting? So first of all, what is happening? What has happened in Lusaka is that Chitambala Mwewa. So we've got Chitambala Mwewa. We've got the offices of ACC and DEC and the entire confusion that is going on. I think our government needs to do a better job at communicating exactly what is going on. It's intolerable that we are having all this miscommunication. We are here for you. What it means. Okay. And then we're asking the question, is the mafia in charge? Linda, is the mafia still in charge in Zambia?
Don't get me started on this. I think the simple answer is yes. Sadly, unfortunately, the mafia is in charge, because if the mafia wasn't in charge, none of this will be happening. We have been talking right from the word go, how the government needs to get a grip and needs to get out, to make sure that they control the narrative. I have a pet peeve with the Ministry of Information myself. I think Anthony, who is doing a fantastic job, I can't fault him. I'm a bit biased now, and Anthony, I'm a bit biased, obviously, it's clear. But I think he's doing a faultless job. And I don't want to have to be picking out names, like saying this one is better than the other one. But I think we need to be categoric in our view on what is going on. I think it's self-sabotage. We can't even blame the mafia, quote unquote, the mafia. The mafia is in charge because there's a gap, and they feel that they have to fill that gap.
Right. Still. Momba, do you think the same way? Before I get started on my rant and venting.
Yes and no. The mafia is in charge. The mafia is not in charge. So at some point we need to differentiate, to say, why do we feel the mafia is in charge, even after having the new regime, in place? And I think that's a topic for a whole other day. And I was going to request for a whole show for me to actually go on and talk about this. Maybe you can give me an hour or two in the next few days. I have a lot of exciting things that I think I would like to share with our viewers as to why it is seemingly so that the mafia is in charge. So I'll say yes and no without preempting much of what I want my show to look like.
All right. So one of the things, because me, I wake up imwe Kulanda na ku Lusaka, I think we about 7 to 8 hours difference. So I think you get news faster. By the time you're getting the news of what is happening in Zambia, so now, so I wake up, I find that Chitambala Mwewa has been arrested.
Yeah.
Right?
Outrageous. Absolutely outrageous.
So I look into it and I find that he's been arrested because of the cybersecurity law. You remember that law? And then another old law, which talks about criminal defamation and criminal libel.
I thought it went with him.
No, it hasn't. But at least from the way it looks like Tasila is the one that has used it. Tasila ever pangire law. No, but Tasila is seemingly using it. Mwana na bawish are a huge problem. Now, when people that have followed us here on TV, they know certain things. Number one, we do not tolerate people insulting others. That has never been our case. Even when issue yakwa Chela and Dora Selia, we were very clear that we did not like ukuita namayo atiri ule nangwat eupeka nyama. That is unacceptable. If we
Ate upeka nyeshi, Vamusha ate upeka nyeshi.
Kama ule.
I never thought of the word pimp in Bemba.
That word is just.
Okay, so.
Ate upeka nya.
Okay. Arrange and we said that was not right. The solution to those problems is not the law of criminal defamation. Criminal defamation means number omuntu ngakutuka waya leta mu bakapokola elo bakapokola bachitashani baya ikata uli omuntu bamulonga mu kifungo. That's criminal defamation or criminal libel. We think we have held this position here on TV Bakwetu that is too much. What needs to happen? Omuntu ngakutuka akuita tuli ule. What needs to happen is ofwire waya mushtira Simon.
Simon Vamusha,
Simon. I agree with you.
Simon them. No one are taking an oven to Yaba Chitambala. There's Simon yo. Our teacher of English has been arrested and released, but there's Simon. Carry on, sorry.
Simon. Ofwire waya mushtira Simon. Ero mwaya lubulula. Kuchire chamilandu. That is a better way to deal with it. If yakubika mubaka pokola in private disputes of citizens, it's a waste of police money. It's a waste of national resources. We already have very few resources in Zambia. So why then should we be having kapokola? Okuya ikato omuntu utukireta sira okwebati nikabwalala. That is very unfair.
Yep.
You know?
First things first, on that point that you've just read, bakapokola navena, niva problem child. Because ama issues uwingari, but why would you waste time to go and arrest Simon Mwewa instead of focusing on important things?
Simon Mwewa ni bawishi balifwa.
Yeah, because he presents himself as that in Vachitambala. Yes, sorry, Vachitambala. So why would the police spend their energy to go and arrest this man when they are serious? We're dealing with bigger fishes to fry. We've got more serious problems at hand. Why would they go and do that? So which means it supports my arguments that Mafia, but everybody in charge.
So maybe Vamusha, maybe just for us to be on the same page as you are venting and ranting and taking us down this Chitambala story. Would you lay a foundation and tell us the difference between criminal defamation and this case of Mr. Chitambala, which in my view looks like a civil case? But if it's a civil case, how then does the police come in? So Limbuktimatu, please elaborate on that.
No, we do have a crime in Zambia, which is criminal libel and criminal defamation. So what it simply means is you involve the police in it. Now, what we are saying from an advocacy point of view is abantu ngabayituka. Let them handle it in a civil manner. Okuchila okubika mubaka pokola so that it becomes a criminal matter. Like what happened, obviously, I don't know what Chitambala said about Tasila, but we are going to drill down to it. We are not justifying whatever he said, but what we are saying is if Tasila already sued Chitambala as a civil case in the High Court, why then should she go to magistrate court and obtain a warrant to arrest Chitambala for criminal defamation?
There must have been, maybe we are not privileged to some information. I listened to Mr. Chitambala's narration about what is going on, and it was quite sensational, I must say. And I remember thinking to myself, I would be cautious about, asserting yourself in that position. So yes, it's true. These are misdemeanors that should be dealt elsewhere instead of Kukoti. But at the same time, as people, I think we need to learn how much we can or how far we can go with certain accusations. By no means am I supporting Nangani. No.
That is agree. The only issue is how. If somebody insults you or calls you all these things, Kamushtere Simon, deal with it as a civil matter. The only issue is, the problem is that we are abusing the little resources that we have as police resources, to dedicate it to these and have them investigated as criminal cases. Because if Tasila took Chitambala to the High Court as a civil case, there is right now a civil case obtaining in the Lusaka High Court. Why does she make it into another different criminal case?
Maybe she's privileged to information that we're not.
No. When Chitambala is arrested, the charge sheet is clear. Charge sheet. Charge number 1. Ati Chitambala alila ndokuba Tasira ewa ishtire ida bank for 300 million. A charge number 1. I think na charge number 2, if you apala kwa fine. Ema charges bamupere. Because ngawa ya ku criminal court, it's open docket. Takwa befyo officer. Even in civil case. Ngawa ya ku chile chamina takwa ba officer. Kumira ndo takwa ba no kupita mumbali. Takwa ba tiyo mkwai na kawali tonya kulanda.
I really need to get used to these phrases you come up with.
In court, there is no, we don't beat around the bush, so you don't hide things. You know, so in court, it's very clear. She has explained to Chitambala Mwewa defamed her, and the defamation is criminal. So she went and complained before a magistrate, and the magistrate issued a warrant, and the police got involved and arrested him today. I think this is an abuse of our meager police resources by the powerful. Remember, I am afunde yabakankala. They are not meant to protect the poor at all. They are meant to protect the real thieves and mafias. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to move on. You had something to say?
No, I was just going to say, I would like our viewers to bear in mind that this is the same police that received a complaint about Kambwili, and they are still quiet up to now. But a complaint of an insult today has gotten someone arrested and given bail.
Insult to the daughter of the president.
It's the same police we're talking about here. So go on. Right. Go ahead.
So Momba, what you are saying is that you went to the police and gave them evidence of Chishimba Kambwili inciting tribal hatred against the Tongas.
Yes. 3 weeks ago.
And in fact,
and he's still insulting. He's still on with his tribal talk and hate speech, even after I reported. But today, a former president's daughter went to report that Navantu Kensele Kuno.
No, but one of our viewers has just sent me a message. His name is Rahab, either Rahab or Rajab Timothy Mtonga, and says, Linda, he was arrested because he allegedly because of contempt of court. So our lawyer our resident lawyer, can you explain that a little bit?
I don't know, Anya. I think there is a lot of misinformation that flies around.
That's in contempt of court, not because that's
because no, that's not the case. I think the thing has been reported that it's her who went before a magistrate and obtained a warrant of arrest.
But if it was that,
got a new information. Got a new information but that is what has been reported. But she went and obtained a warrant of arrest from a magistrate because of 2 things.
No, but if that was the case, if that was the case, why didn't she send a warrant of arrest to some TV stations that she had sued as well because of the same?
I don't know. No. So we don't have all the information, right? What we have is the fact that a warrant of arrest was issued and Chitambala Mwewa was arrested because of criminal libel and criminal defamation. And so the law is there on criminal defamation. It's there, right? Now, it is selectively applied. It's a law for the rich, to protect the rich. What we are advocating, the mafia, what we are advocating here is that imovaka pokola na mfema magistrates umukankala ngaisa tuyunanduka kabye nimumuyikate. In fact, maybe we just need to repeal that criminal defamation laws altogether.
This is where you come in,
only protect the president. You know, maybe protect the president, but the rest of the things, take it as a civil case. You know, stop involving Vakapokola. Anyway, I need to move to the next one. The next one is the substance of the allegations. Now, I'm pretty angry because Tasila Lungu should be the last person in our country to begin overreacting over issues like this. She should be the last person. Because if ibala no kupola tafira pola, we still have fresh wounds from the way her father and herself were ruling this country. Just the thought that Tasila would stand
misruling.
up. No kwambo kukakisha abantu. It's completely unacceptable. Because eva leteka ba PF no kuivenda na mashachalo eva iva. The president himself was talking about Indeke. Okweba Indeke, it was overpriced. And the difference, they pocketed it. Even the president said, next time Gamulesa Rakateka, be careful. Otherwise, you are Teine. Momba, Usheni never nderanda.
Our time would Valley Landa.
Eva Landiro Kovatu, you are Dipo, Nika Walala, Adi Mungo. No Bomwana. Waba longo Tasila. Lelo ambo kukakisha abantu.
No, Banjuma Ichi Pusho. So, Vakateka Valila, 887 said, be careful when you're choosing your next president. And we know what he was alluding to. Nomba, my question is, he is the current Republican president. Why is he allowing this sort of thing? Why can...
No, that's why you've got to answer. Is the mafia in charge?
This is why I'm supporting my my claim. Obviously, it's not gospel. It's not completely true. This is my assertion that there is a large element of the mafia still in charge because Tasilanga Takwete backing political muscle behind her. Where would she get the guts from? Yeah, which does send Bakapukola to go and arrest someone over a libel case.
You're right. So that is the confusion, because Zambians are very clear. Ukwebati uteko waba PF wali uteko wabaka walala abango bakelenka ama mafias. They have no interest for the people at heart.
Counsel, can I pause you there for a minute? Mwalumbula finga gajinga nifutatu. Nimova, you are a resident. I think I should take over this lawyership thing because I have to always come in and tell you, vuteko wabaka bolala bakelenga. Ulutulea kuna nikane ku satellite DSTV. We can't afford to be saying things like that. Baka tukaka. Nimwenga ba mikaka.
Patriotic Front. Huh? The Patriotic Front, Linda Banks. The Patriotic Front. No. Okay. Ngata mlemfwa ku satellite nishmulandi defedi. Otherwise, the government of the Patriotic Front, it was a government of thieves, the corrupt element. It was the government that had no interest of the people of Zambia had. That's why 2.8 million Zambians voted them out.
At COVID.
COVID, nama defective condoms, name it. No,
yeah.
So, it is true.
So That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying the PF government was a government of thieves. Efe naishiva. Kanshima ba PF kamlefu okuntola ku chile cha mirandu. Nkakeni.
Batasila baisa.
Emwe mwali buteeko bwabaka bwalala bakelenka abango. That is what you were. That is why you lost the election by PF. Balungu. Kanshilekeni miebe. And in fact, I need to be very relaxed. Ishifirokuba ukumoneka angry when I'm saying this. President Lungu. The reason why you were voted out, it was because your government was a government of thieves. Simple. Okay. Now, the ACC came out and told us, a former councillor in Lusaka. Linda, are you ACC?
Nope. Not guilty. Not guilty, council.
Are you ACC?
No.
They are investigating a former councillor in Lusaka for buying a bank at 300
million. Pausing any apo peneva munsha. Pausing any apo. So a councillor, no, but let's dissect the duties of a councillor and what the remuneration of a councillor is. Apo penefia apo. Pakova tukuchite manage kushita ifya msangweyo. Then namaya andaya ko nama famu nama shanyuko. Nishinga ma awulimbya ma councillor ba kuzambia okuchira ba kuyo edi bala fola ko impeachment.
Elo nomba
bamombela ndeni.
Amwene abo mfyamano yakuchiwa empala nakulwapula because Chitambala Mwewa wakweso efu alandira fiyo kulandalanda nicho bwa ushikula muchusha ngaikala kwa etafyo
Ashkula alanda fye nshachafu kubomfya weda tukubwata no na nshabomfya weda
so elwa shiremo na asango kwebati au pituruka pama list ya councillors former councillors one name stood out. That is common sense. No, but whatever it's to go to common sense, to okay. Mona list yama former councillors. Very obviously, who is being investigated for stealing. That's one thing. No, but to son tapono sonto kwa padu councillor po ibile 300 to son tap. One thing. The second thing is Chimtengo Forest. Teine niba panji kaunda abo twaitire on this program no kubepsha ba panji kaunda ale mwana kaunda londolola charishani ku Chimtengo Forest. Linda, you were there. What did Panji say?
Panji he used very plain English. So I think it's clear everyone, the rest of the country knows exactly what happened. And
Linda Namomba should be lawyers in it.
Diplomatic,
Panji kaundala ndiro kwebati. Raichire Sanga, an entire Chimtengo Forest in Eastern Province has been fenced off.
Yeah.
Government property. At one day, Panji kaunda one day asavuka ayamukutandala ku Chimtengo Forest ukuyasanga the entire forest that belongs to the government of Zambia had been fenced off. Elo nomba Panji aipuishe mumushi ati ushaba chite fence off ni banani elo bamwebere Panji ukobati nitasila ewo chite fence off this forest.
No, but the word of mouth, how factual is that? Okay. We have evidence. In an alarm, which does evidence.
Elo Panji abulire karata alemba karata to the government no kubebo kobati tasiroko naiba forest ya chalo. Ukuisa umfu after bapange chongo abena Panji. Ile fence efe bayifumishepo na lero dine abena sinda balilishibeliashi. So number we spoke about this. We spoke about the abuses that Tasila Lungu was doing and perpetrating against the people of Zambia. Yeah. So it is offensive okwebat nomba ababa Tasila bambe kokulaka kanisha abantu wikaro no kulonga abantu because of her own activities.
But why? I'm going to play devil's advocate. Waisanga situation yaso mkuli government here new and they're claiming to be a new dawn and getting rid of all the kelenkas, and you can get away with things like that. Why not? Bamushaimo, you wouldn't want to get away with that?
Finji, getting away with Chimtengo Forest? What do you mean? Who's getting away with it?
Like, look, how can Tasila, a mere member of parliament, by virtue of being a daughter of a former president, does not give her the audacity or monotony to sort of take people to court or jail nilly-willy unless now quite a political muscle abalem supporter? No, but how can she be allowed to have this political muscle when there's a new government? So in it, I wouldn't even blame Dasila. I blame the people in charge of the systems. Why are they allowing her to get away with this?
So yeah, brings us back to who is in charge. Apart from, I really did. You guys are pushing me into talking about
it. Mom, we are preempting your program. Come on, girl, give us a little bit of juice. What are you planning?
We have a new president, quite okay. We have some new ministers and everything. And apart from those few at the helm there, who else is from the New Dawn government?
Exactly.
So Linda, if my father appointed you to have the position that you have, and after he leaves power, people are talking ill of me, or I see danger coming, wouldn't you feel compelled to help me if you're still in the position of power?
Of course I would, yeah.
So I think that's exactly what is going on. We don't. Who else is new in the police service? We still have the same old people.
But should it happen? Should it happen though? Yes, I would do that.
If you remember that one of the things that we were crying about here in Zambia is that the police had been infiltrated by cadres. Mm-hmm. All the positions were given to cadres, and that was our cry. And this is why I woke up at 3 a.m. to go and vote, because this cadreism was just getting way out of hand. But then who has been removed from those positions? So it's kind of like almost crazy for us to sit here and expect change with the same people who brought about the pain that we wanted to get.
My point exactly, Momba. That's my point exactly. So we
Momba.
have Momba. Oh, now with the Fed Thorncroft. Mama Thorncroft.
That makes me sound old.
Momba na Linda. On some last names yenu yabasungu. Thorncroft yabasungu.
Where mine is from Ian Diakuchpata.
Really?
Nibangoni when I was doing
Mama nataka digress ili ashitwala ileta ku background
so you see now why things are happening the way they are happening. Do you think that if we had new people in those positions, they would dance to former Mwana Kateka's tune just like that? But those people still need to be loyal to the person or the people that gave them those positions.
Why do we still have them?
And that's why, you see, we want to move on from this story, right? We want lungu ali lusakale. Mwamana, so tatulefuayo okuya mukumupanda ifipa umuntu napona. Like you are the no, just wait. Umuntu boxing. Mike Tyson aingisha kachunga ni lower cut ngani apa katiria omuntu achitakeo. Michael Tyson tafira ya mukupanda uli omuntu. No. Kumupera time best dizziness ya stashani. Yeah. So that's what we want to do. No, but this idea lungu na abantu bakwe who continue terrorizing our people is unacceptable.
Okay, let's go back a bit. Do you remember when Michael Sata came into power?
Go explain.
What did he do? He got rid of everyone, right? That was not. Do you remember that?
Yes, that bit I remember. Yes.
Yes, and do you know that that's partly the reason why the country ran broke? Because do you know what happens when you fire someone, they have a contract and you terminate it just like that? You have to pay them in lieu. Remember?
No.
Yeah.
I think
you will have to pay them in lieu. So I don't know.
No. Anyway. I think we've got to deal with that another day. This contract on lieu.
Okay, let's talk about Chitambala and the
Mafias. Even if it's paying them in lieu, let's pay them off and take them out.
Start again. Start afresh.
Otherwise it's okay. How much money are you going to spend? Mama, Muletina, how much money are you going to spend? DSs are presidential appointees. The system, even UP, is system to avoid not to avoid, but system
This is why this stuff is happening, because very loyal.
No. So anyway, so the issue was Chitambala Mwewa. This is a list of former councillors. Can show you if we're involved. So Gigi Bengali involved now, but what I know is that if ACC announces they are investigating a former councillor, on that list,
now, is that a right thing to do?
Is it a crime? Exactly.
Just because iriria shiria kuma bamunsha balikwata umwemfu mwalibako notwa white na tsango umwemfu na utoneka hapa ninsheva chitiri omlandu.
Yeah, because I think the easiest thing would have been to go to court and say, can you prove? I mean, you say that the one that goes to court must go with clean hands, and the one who sues is the one that, what's the saying, Vamusha? You are the lawyer. He that asserts must affirm, you know. So it would be up to Mr. Chitambala to be the one to prove why he's saying Tasile Wala and Dilefio. And also looking at what Kangwa is saying in the chat box, I think Simon Chitambala was just quoting what was already said by Crown TV and other media stations. So why not go and arrest the people who were saying it? Why are you arresting the messenger, the one who alela and defili muma invented comments, quoted speech?
She's targeting abantu abalanda. She's targeting us. Waikata Chitambala nishu waikata naifwe. Now, here is the thing. This is our appeal to Tasila. Be humble. From the way your father governed this country, chali tukalipa sana pali bwalala, Mafia, na criminality walechitika under the Patriotic Front government. We expect you to be humble. No kulombo bwerero, no kukunkula. Okukunkwira bena Zambia. Pakuba bena Zambia bamierere. I system ya kuba nomba mwala itutumuna. And arresting Amena Abekala Chalo, it's going to be too bad. We disapprove of it, and so we are appealing to you. We ought to withdraw the criminal complaint against Chitambala Mwewa, because it's completely uncalled for.
Yeah.
Our investigating agencies, they are investigating, and they'll catch up with you very soon.
Yeah.
It's okay. Nomba tetutungire brain ukutuletere mpepo pakuba situiralanda po. Amaplot twalyumfwa mu Lusaka. Ifikulwa twalyumfwa mu Lusaka. Na Chimtengo forest niwe waireiva. So nomba tuiranda po kutuitire mpepo. The entire social media in Lusaka, people are checking themselves. No, you're not going to intimidate us. So please be humble and
Yep.
because we know whatever activities you were doing, particularly Chimtengo Forest. We are soon at Chimtengo Forest. Mukula trading.
Why wasunga, eh?
We are Chandi. Anyway, we need to move on from this story.
Just one point, Kangos just said Mwewa claims to have a lot of information that could bury Tasila. And maybe she's just trying to get ahead of this to intimidate Mwewa and the rest of the public. So that angaingila mubwangu bwangu but this is not going to work. You know that physics phrase, whatever goes up must come down. And we know exactly what happens to the likes of you and your father. Unfortunately, I feel uncomfortable discussing this because I'm an advocate of women in power, women in politics, but this just stinks. It smells fishy and I don't like it.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't like it either. I think ukuba we know Linda and Momba tekumoneka fyo watekanya pamenso mwasango omuntu atu yalitekanya. It's in the way you are doing things. For example, you can't go and fence off Chimtengo Forest. Ero nomba waisa mkutu chance that you are humble. No. Because what led you to go and fence off? Because it must be in your mind. Waima, where nalaya chita fence off an entire forest and it becomes mine. Wajanda.
Greed.
Anyway, now we must be clear here that we are not necessarily saying that it's okay for Chitambala Mwewa to do what. No. What we are saying is that do not involve the police. Already, if the police, they're already under-resourced.
Bring Interpol, Beauty Diggins says. Bring Ingaba Filwa. Interpol would be quite happy. These are large sums of money, and some people are going A-shaped, sort of to refer free education, much they promise. These large chunks of money could solve so many problems. Sort out Tama Street kids, starving women, and all that sort of stuff. And after
Mwanaka Unda Azanda Panji. Do this.
Good for you.
Very, very principled. Very Nadia Batandadira Kungure.
Okay.
Very, very nice man.
That's nice.
No tamba Bapanji to Arimitemo. And he helped to bring this issue to someone of a corruption.
No. Hello, the same person. What a person like Vapanji, sorry to cut you short, Wamusha. A person like Vapanji being talked down by the likes of my tribesman, Bowman Lusambo. Your father was in power if you didn't secure your shani. I was really offended by that. And I was thinking, this is a man of integrity. He didn't go in it to secure some funds for himself and his family. Actually, Panji should keep quiet because that's whatever.
Anyway, that when his father was in power, yes.
Abe never PF bari kwetena expression for it as in businessman. Kanshiba shimpundu DNA.
Don't go there, Mamusha. Tulepa DSTV kuichindika. Tufilo kwa mboku kuichindika Maria share sote tuwakalengira mo.
Isn't it being reported? Incredible news. Now I'm pusha to go for DNA. Is it defamation? In the stuff report to go back. Could you kashana? We push about shimpundo to go for DNA. I don't even know what I think about it because if ofweva oshi tatusakabana umwanda mwana obe mwana nga afyarwa ero ni nakusonda nishini wewe
And the jeans Lusambo, they are so embarrassing. Okay, I saw them. It's so embarrassing. So too, why? You don't even need a DNA test. You look at the kids, you just need my gosh.
Linda, in an Atlanta Fiat DNA, you even go into more details.
Banaliba monabana nga mwapala nyafya inkopyo nempumifye shabulamba waisho fyata mwisho mwana wenu yuka kwaso muluku kanendo mwebo.
You are sure the children didn't look like cancer here?
Tabariko.
Yeah, sure.
The timeline doesn't fit. Tabariko.
Momba, Linda, ankani nako. Wewe inu mshari. Nangufe ni grip nangufe nika greet
takwali. Okay.
Bantu bara bebesha. Nanguwa ya muposha fyo mundu.
Ati ni wewe.
Muposha fyo ati nerifu moja.
Nishi wa mposheshe.
Okay. The next item is something that is going on, and it has led to a lot of confusion. So, therefore, which to clarify? Can I clarify about the ACC, DEC, and State House?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Now, it's very boring because details, they get bored very fast. It's like
it's true. But Vamunsha, there's an element of truth to what you've said, but I think it's critical that our people learn stuff. You know, you're the one who debunked and demystified the butane issue. Yeah, but you explained it so beautifully and very simplistic. So please go ahead. We need to move away from mentality. Not good at reading. Valandachan reading culture is very poor in Zambia. But if we have people like you, Council Munsha, you can dissect things like that. Muma simple. We
won't need to read. We'll just listen and learn.
We'll just listen to you. To on the red and conform to the group D on that topic.
One particular. So,
but since we insist,
this is not clear.
No.
That white paper.
We've got 3 arms of government. Zambia, for what are 3 arms of government? One is known as the legislature, parliament. Representing Chifu. Nichifu,
Kabushi.
Honorable DNA. He's an honorable member of parliament, please.
DSTV kunde kutina tuba mikaka ima change kale kuno kulandishile for kuisa kumajele ya Zambia nali kumfa.
No, awo kuito muntu ati chimpundu DNA. It's not defamation. Never lawyer. So mfiro no. Okay. So parliament. Then there is another agency another branch known as executive. Kateka. Executive. Judiciary. So 3 arms. These 3 arms are co-equal. They have equal powers. Okay, so executive, so legislature, parliament, executive, president, and the judiciary. These are the 3 arms. Now, every agency of the executive, every agency in Zambia must be connected. Every government agency must be connected to either to these institutions. So now, in the executive is very wide. So in it, there are offices that we call independent, and there are offices we call autonomous. But they are all under the umbrella of the executive. And the executive head of state, who is the president, isha kuchitari align government departments atwala ku parliament for approval, because executive yaba under his leadership gatsta reorganize aya ku parliament yachta approve, and it continues like that. That's how it works. Parliament cannot take these institutions outside the executive because they are your power, but it can listen to the president who decides to do what, to reorganize for political accountability. Now, if we want to sometimes therefore politicians have no role to play in our government. They do, because our country is a political state. It's not a bureaucracy. That's why all the agencies must be connected to a politician. There is a reason for this. It is so that if we as people, we can hold our government accountable. We can't hold our government accountable if we removed politicians out of the equation. Politicians are our path to government accountability. If we take them out, we can't make them accountable. So, for example, ACC and DEC, they are independent investigation agencies. And yet, there is still a politician who supervises their activity. That politician in the current government is known as the president. If we have issues with DEC and ACC, it is the president who is the politician who faces us about their activities. So, for example, if ACC and DEC tabale bomba bwino tufire tuwaiba kateko kweba ati ayama agencies yovyaya, they are corrupt. That is what we need to do. Number ngamwafunyapo political supervision on ACC and DEC, it means then that tamwaka kwatu kwa kuchita complain when you want to bring these bodies to become politically accountable. That is why tufiro kutekanya sana and realize that political supervision of the executive is very important. It is for our own good. Number one. The next thing is, the president is commander-in-chief of the armed forces, including all the security agencies. So the president can never extricate himself from forces in Zambia. He can't. Here is the problem. Bashita Sila, for those that have followed TV Bakwetu, Bashita Sila used to say, all these agencies are independent. You remember that time? And what we used to tell him is, no, you are responsible for them. They will independently investigate everything. No, you as the president are accountable to us about how ACC and DEC are conducting their affairs. Garaputira kateka amba kokutweba ukweba ati is not connected to these agencies. That is a red flag. That is a red flag, because then he is denying supervision of these entities. Elongakana supervision of these entities, you know what will happen? Gabatampo kulufyanya yama ACC and DEC akakana responsibility. Ukwebatiyo teine. And so it's going to hurt us. So the president is still in charge of all these agencies. There are agencies that are serving under him. What he needs to say is this. What he needs to say is, it is true, all these agencies are under me. All these agencies, I'm politically accountable to the people of Zambia on these agencies. I am going to give them money. I'm going to give them resources. I'm going to support them. I'm going to be in their corner as they do their work. That is what we need in our country. A president who is willing to put these agencies in his corner and say he's going to fund them. What we don't expect is for the president to be the one who is investigating. He can't do that. But the president must make it very clear that he's going to support these agencies, he's going to fund them, and he's going to let them operate very, very well. Okay. And so today's statement from State House, it's good in the sense that it affirms president's desire to make these agencies work. But it can be misunderstood as if the president is denying political supervision over these agencies. And that is where the danger is.
Yeah.
So this is what Anthony Walia should have explained.
I don't know who should have explained.
Or the Minister of Information, Kango, actually has just made a very good point.
Yes, because it is there in the Gazette. The Gazette has put all these agencies under the office of the president. There is nothing wrong with that. Now everybody's freaking out, and everybody's freaking out. Why should they be under the office of the president? For political supervision, because investigative agencies in our country must be under political supervision. You can't take them outside political supervision.
I was freaking out myself. I'll hold my hand up. Scout's honor. Scout's honor. I was freaking out as well because I was thinking to myself, yes, we have the Hichilema administration that is full of integrity and transparent. But when you have Kelenkas like Lungu, God forbid we have another administration like that, and they have so much power and so much jurisdiction over these agencies, that cannot be a good thing. So my question was, this is like a legal constitutional question. So is it in the constitution that this is what should happen? The government or the president should have these organization under his wing?
No, okay. So the law creates all these agencies, but all these agencies that the law creates must be politically connected to one of the entities. They are not. Our constitution does not create bodies in thin air. It doesn't. Right?
They are not suspended.
The Anti-Corruption Commission is a creature of statute, meaning it's the law that creates it, even if it's the constitution. So constitution mentions. So constitution yes, I mention Anti-Corruption Commission, Drug Enforcement Commission, but the actual pieces of legislation that gives them, that breathes life into them, is from Parliament. Okay. And so what the president has done is, this institution that Parliament has breathed life into, it is going to fall under my office as president for supervision.
So if it falls under the office?
Yes. The reason why that is important is for funding and for supervision and for accountability. Because all these agencies must account to the people of Zambia. The bureaucracy, there is no, okay, let's take a headmaster, all right? A resident in Zambia has no political connection to a headmaster, okay? Because a headmaster simply implements whatever is coming from who? From the minister and from the policy of the ruling party. That's all they do. So if you want a headmaster to change, you have to go up and deal with the politician, because it is the politician then who communicates a different policy. That is what it means when we say that we are a political state. If we are saying that ACC and DEC are going to be divorced from political supervision, we are going to create a problem where the people of Zambia will have no way of holding these things politically accountable. It is this responsibility of Chitambala refused. Now, here is the thing. Chitambala was refusing Mwewa is not responsible for this, but he was interfering. So Mwewa let's interfere. Interfere, but these are independent. No. He needed to own up, because the failure of the Zambian police is politically connected to the failure of the president. If the Zambia police fail, if the SEC fail, if the DEC fail, it is the failure of the president. The president cannot wash his hands and say that these are independent, autonomous bodies. They are not. They are part of his office. They are part of his constitutional duty. So we should never divorce these things. If we are talking of political interference, it is the people who are supposed to hold them accountable. So you
that is a tricky position to be in.
There is inefficient here. What is going on? In other words, the people.
My concern is if these organizations are under the president, Kateka will not be fearing Abantu. The Kateka will have too much power, and especially with the gap of not having a formidable opposition, I fear that we are creating a double-edged sword, Fueka, because government, Ichilemanga too powerful, and then they have all these key organizations under their wing. It could be problematic. SEC, I hope I'm wrong, but
SEC must have political accountability.
Of course it does, but does it?
You still must give it to someone. So you're going to give it to Home Affairs. It's the same issue.
Okay, so
you want to give it to Ministry of what? It's all the same issue. And so what is needed is for the New Dawn government to communicate to the people of Zambia exactly what is happening, and for President Hichilema to say that I am going to be politically accountable to you, the people of Zambia, over the
communication. The key word in that sentence that you've just given, communication. They have to communicate everything that they're doing to us, and they're not doing an effective job of communicating.
Momba, what were you saying?
What is going on?
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, do you think there's a background, or do you think there is something that they are trying to explain, but maybe not communicating it the right way, in them repeatedly saying these institutions independent, the president, is there something that they might be trying to communicate that they are not communicating right? And if so, what is that?
Listen to what Vashtasila used to say. And there lies the danger. If you let Mr. President Hichilema say the same things that Vashtasila used to say, then there is a problem. Because in reality, bodies of the executive, such as security and investigative agencies, they are part of the executive. When you see an executive officer, ambo kukana responsibility, that is a huge, huge danger. Huge danger.
Do you
That's
think
why I hope today's statement from State House is not going to be misunderstood. Because ACC and DEC, let's just be realistic. ACC and DEC, the biggest support that they need is to know that their president is in their corner. Very important. That's what they need to know. Immediately they sense they will be powerless. Unfortunately, that is the kind of system that we have in our country.
And we risk having cases being investigated and suddenly there's no conclusion. It just goes into oblivion because they're not accountable to anyone. And the president is saying, okay, I'm far away, he puts them at arm's length. So what happens when, especially now, we have a lot of cases that have public interest. So where do we go? Who do we petition? Exactly. Who do we talk to if these cases are not going through and we're not getting any conclusion?
It is the president. It is the president. That's why it's unacceptable for him to tell us. If that statement was to say, no, we are not saying that he's going to interfere. By interference, we mean him going, Milando at you much investigation. No. Interference in the sense that afuirokula nokubeba ba ACC na ba DEC at ningufuo kukulia mangwingu ya corruption areni banekabien mugombere at no Mr. President, we are broke. He gets money agasaka kandarama not at wala kuli na musonda no asendi agasaka kandarama no kuya pera ba ACC na ba DEC ukudibanye MP okudibanye ma offices ya ma ACC na DEC so that they do their job. And to equate where hold. What are you going to do?
Yes.
How are we going to hold them accountable? The only person we hold accountable are the politicians.
Yes. The ones who appointed. Yes.
If ACC and DEC fails, it's the UPND government that has failed, and we should keep the fire very hot on their seats. That is what is needed. If you go back that we are not involved, they are independent.
So who is supervising them? Who are they accountable to?
That's why if you go back that they are all independent. If you are Chitambala Mwewa or no they are all independent. They will investigate independently. We know that is true, but you as president, you are the one we are holding accountable. If they have to be independent, they are not independent. It is because of you. You can't anymore let them.
We put you in power because we want the police to act in a certain way. We put you in power because we want the ACC and other investigative wings to behave in a certain way. So if you are going to be in power and you say they are independent of me, then what then is the link between us, the Zambian people, and those investigative wings? So yeah, I think it puts it's quite dangerous to say the least, to have such pronouncements. So maybe Anthony Walia needs to be a little bit more explicit in his communication with the nation, because when he speaks to us, he's speaking on behalf of the president. He's speaking on behalf of the government. So
it's not just about Anthony Walia. It's about the entire structure that is clear about what is really going on, because the statutory instrument is there. Parliament has already brought all these agencies under the office of the president, and there is nothing wrong with that.
So why are they just bringing that now if it was already constitutionally written that they should be under the president?
No. That's not it. There is no constitution. No, the constitution deals with broader things, right?
You are saying the rearrangement of the whole thing.
Yeah, the rearrangement of the executive is still under the president, because the president holds executive authority over the entire structure.
Absolutely.
So there are several agencies that he has the leeway to change and realign, and Parliament passes.
Absolutely. My concern is, why is if that has been decided, the realignment has been decided, which is fine. Every government has got the right to realign whatever agencies. Why isn't it clear that they come out and explain clearly, like you have? I'm sure there are lots of viewers who have understood it better now.
They need to do that, because every ministry what it is responsible for. So this is a line ministry that is responsible for this, and these are the statutory bodies that it is responsible for. For example, ZRA, it's an independent body, Zambia Revenue Authority, independent body, but which ministry is this political supervisor? Ministry of Finance. The Law Association of Zambia, it's an independent regulator of lawyers in Zambia. Which ministry is responsible for its political supervision? The Ministry of Justice. There could be a change. For example, if the president and parliament wanted to change, they can use that body and give it to another ministry. For example, they can create a different ministry. They call it a ministry of lawyers. They take that statutory body, whatever, Cap 30 or Cap 31, and they assign it to a different politician. It falls under a different ministry. It's still independent, it's still autonomous, but it still must have political supervision. What about, that's how the government structure is supposed to be. It is known as both constitutional office holders and what is known as the administrative state. So the argument here about the administrative state must be completely independent from some political supervisors is untenable in our law. They already have a statutory instrument that they signed and issued. Parliament passed it. Just be clear with the people of Zambia. The fact that you see ACC under the office of the president does not mean interfere and no. All it means is that it provides political cover of this particular agency. That's all it means. Number statement and so people are saying statutory instrument says this, but
like it's a DNA issue. Yeah, like
DNA. So can she move honorable DNA? Momba mukonke not DNA.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right. So I think we are now at 1 hour 19 minutes. And so ubu teko bwesu and tufiro kubafirisha okulondolera efintu kulondolera abantu bwino pantu lots of misinformation. Eloma mafias nga bamona akakena they take advantage of it and kutumwenesha makwana kali moyo kateka teshibe for it. Yo muntu wesu uyu twalamu afirisha. And so once Simon Mwewa na Zambia, just relax, hold him accountable. If you refer wangu my investigations yachitike. Elote tutulanda fa ACC DEC investigate quickly. Tufuro kulanda nakateka. Ufuro kubapela ma resources. Because they are broke. DEC and ACC, they have no money. People don't realize that. Lawyers, investigators that work for ACC and DEC, they have no money. First of all, they get peanuts. Secondly, even operational money tabagwata. So kanshi bahichirema if tule milombako. Batwalire n'olupya ba ACC. Batwalire n'olupya ba DEC. Batwalire n'olupya ba FIC. Bakwate olupya. Bakwate bachite a very good job. Otherwise, bakulachita fefia madongo dongo. And then when they do fefia madongo dongo, you come back and say how ine. Eh? They're independent. No.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello, Yakakana. Advertising judicial vacancies. Yeah. Sangwa is right. I think he's trying to. What we know as Judicial Service Commission. A Judicial Service Commission, later, amma judges yatwali nakateka. Again, you see, mwamona bukerenko buchitika. Wakwebati, Judicial Service Commission is apparently independent. But you and I know that even if it's independent, Kateka still has a hand in it. So that's why instead yakula chitakwana kalimo, your hand is in the jar. Eno number waipanga kwa kalimo wafisa matiyo, it's not in the jar. Prefer to back. So number the Judicial Service Commission, if sangwa lela and yakwebati, but if it's tika Mzambia ma judges regeni mieweko. Abengiti abeshiboko wafuma. If sangwa lela kuisa monafye list yo yafuma at Parliament, at Judicial Service Commission yatumama judges Parliament to approve. Elo in 10 out of 10 cases, iria ine list iria batwala ku Parliament epo basala baba ma judges. Sangwa lela ndati kubeko a little bit transparency from the Judicial Service Commission. If you are over to dawish abantu over judges, vipwe, I support it.
Okay. So is there a board that sits to select these names, or just maybe you could walk us through? Please don't laugh. I would just like to understand, like, where do these names come from? Who compiles them to take them to the president or to take them to Parliament? Like, what's the genesis of the whole? What's the selection criteria, so to speak?
You know, that's why we need to know, because the Judicial Commission is independent. So it's the Chief Justice and several other people, some of them appointed by the president. Basala. Kateka asonta. Gaba sonta abatwalira ku Parliament yachita approve baba ma judges. What Sangwa is saying is namfenika hearing before na Judicial Service Commission taira abasonta. Not Parliament bafyo rubber stamp.
Yeah. So I guess this is what brings issues of let the Constitutional Court decide whether I'm eligible to stand or not. Is this a third stem or a second stem? But because that is the hand that is feeding you, that's the hand that appointed you, you're going to judge in a certain way. Obviously, you would be unwise to go against the person that appointed you. And then fiasa mkuka kanali damlefwa ya gratuity ati yon defwe ya 2 terms, but anyway, so I guess this is where it comes from, and a lot of these things would be avoided if things are done in a certain transparent way from the beginning. And this is what brings about the actual separation of arms, which obviously is not there. It's not black and white. It's gray here and there. But I think if what John Sangwa is saying is followed, we would avoid a lot of this thing that is going on. So I tend to agree with that explanation. Yeah.
I'm a lawyers having the dawa. Kusa monadist yafuma. No, you what? No, you. That's how I'm judges. I'm humble. No, you know, no, it's because of Shani connection. No, we want.
Limbi basa muri lutuku na muri lutuku muri amwene bakumana.
Muri chimbuya vyako.
Muri chimbuya vyako.
However, Munshato aliwa mwene na wakateka walikopeshe na selfie ku community
exactly.
Ni ba judge.
You know?
So can she get out to the Munshare for Kubajaj? After the Judicial Service Commission. First of all, Judicial Service Commission. If we had to advertise newspaper, Erwaband, batch to apply. Elo number kwa clear transparency way ya kwa Judicial Service Commission ya sala bantu. Elonga ya sala bantu. Not Judicial Service Commission. I'm judges. It's so secret. Why should it be secret to Salama judges? Why? Ukumfofia tamashina naye afuma. Uko ku parliament and parliament yastashani rubber stamps it. How? So if you can Law Association of Zambia, I'm a Belela member. Belela member simply means associate member. I only full member, but you're Belela. So never Belela member of the Law Association of Zambia. And so alas, imwe abute shonga nabaneno. Just make a very common sense approach up. Then let there be transparency in the Judicial Service Commission. Ama judges, if we require advert so that lawyers apply. No kubachita interview. Tule mwana kwa fyo bale bachita interview. No kubepusha kutuma question like. Nikuisa mwasa mbirire mwarishi ba what an ex parte order is.
I think that would be very transparent, and I think Sangwa's thoughts really need to be looked into seriously. A lot of people think he just talks and wants to maybe to attack the government of the day and things like that, but I agree that what he's saying should seriously be considered if we are going to really have transparency in this new government. Hello.
I think so. Could you feedback? Professor Kasonso? Okay, I think I got feedback. Anyway, that is it. So we have 3 minutes and we have TV going to crew here. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us. And so we're going to let a very brief comments. It's a different day. But I want you to just comment in less than a minute so that Twisade, and then we are going to come back again sometime tomorrow. Kangwa, Natalie.
Nishani Wonse.
We are fine.
Yes, I'm just going to focus on the issue of ACC and DEC moving to State House. As clear as your explanation is, and I love that you exhausted everything. When Anthony released that statement, it left a lot of question marks, but you explained it clearly. But I still disagree that these should be outside State House. In as much
they should
as
be outside State House where? Sorry, Kangwa. They should be outside State House to where?
They should operate independently, Bamunsha. I don't know where their buildings are, where they're going to be housed.
No, sorry. They can't.
Why not?
Because they can't be outside the executive.
Why not?
Because they are part of the executive.
That can be changed, Bamunsha.
Oh,
they
so
can be part of the legislature instead. No, they can be part of the legislature rather than the executive. The executive changes from time to time, but the legislature remains the same. So those commissions can report directly to Parliament.
What are you talking about? The legislature remains the same?
The structure of the legislature remains the same. The structure of the legislature. The structure remains the same. Ama parliamentarians vale sabalaya, but with the president, listen, we should be open to having different opinions. My opinion is that they should exist outside the executive, because when a president comes, obviously, they will be running the president.
Can you tell me one body that exists outside the executive?
I can't think of one right now, but I don't see why we shouldn't change our mind. Just because things have been done a certain way doesn't mean that things should continue to exist a certain way.
Okay, no. Okay, thank you for your minute. Who is next?
I have my 1 minute since everybody is quiet.
Yes,
I totally agree, because I had a lot of banging on my head when I was in grade 7 from Worms to Mbanyambo. I did my grade 7 at Mongu Primary School. He always used to hit me in civics lessons. So I agree. The DEC, ACC, they are under the executive. It doesn't matter which building they are. They're still under the State House. They're still under the president. My main worry is, one of these political ex-bigwigs who has twin kids. I don't want to mention him because these days you don't know where you land. I'm not a lawyer myself. He's been going on. Earlier on today in the morning, he said something like HH should appoint people from PF because he doesn't have any suitable people from UPND. Later on during the day, this all happened today. Later on, he came on to say that the president is after him because he wants to lock him up. And I'm beginning to think in the question of mafias. Yesterday, I was thinking our lovely Bali was delaying in, persecuting these people. Now they've gone ahead of him. They're literally begging to be locked up, because that's what literally Bashmwana Baba Babidi is doing. He's literally begging to be locked up. If I was HH, I would literally lock him up, but obviously by HH by Christo. He has put the office of the president in disrepute. He has said that he's controlling the police. He himself, he's put it on his page that the police still report to him, which is an offense, because who is he that the police should report to him? All those things. He should be locked up, or he should be questioned. This is not a question of we are looking for evidence. It should be, something should be done to this guy, because it's putting the president's office in disrepute. Then the other question of, the DEC, I've already dealt with that. Those are the two things. Anyway, I was only going to talk about the two kids and the other kids under the carpet. He should look at himself, and they should stop. When we're saying that are the mafia still in charge, they are, because they don't know what time it is. And I'm beginning to agree with Bali. I think the woo is now unraveling. When you are so powerful and you've gone against all the rules, you genuinely think you're in power. I was reading through this Boli boy Bashimpundu, and I was thinking, this guy doesn't know that the PF is over. He is talking as if he thinks they're still in power. They're gone.
I don't know what
he genuinely believes now my lovely sister Mwanaba President Batasila, the lovely girl who's happily married and is a wonderful girl, as humble as she is according to the people. I don't know her personally. She genuinely thinks she's a person in power. I was thinking, my lovely Bali, I'm sure he's telling his kids right now, yeah, my children, I don't want you to be politicians. I was like, Kwena Bali, abanga bana bandi nochitanga na basanduka na ma minister. Pona pera.
Yes, Mr. Mkelaba.
Vamusha na mulanda. Alana mulanda, Vamusha, Valinda, and our lady, Momba. Now mulanda Silvino, and I hope now, my concern Vamusha is the pace of the HH administration, especially our ministers. Everyone is trying to run away from being responsible for something, including our president Rene. he wants to wash his hands and say the DEC should be autonomous. They should do their own professional job. But without him coming in as an executive, like you put it, to echo or to give encouragement, to push them or to fund them, they are not going to do anything. If anything, vaecheche valelanda tabakwete mpia alisanga makopa gari MP and abakwete mpia ni awe nebasakana nyongo. And what do you do? What are they going to do? They will definitely compromise with our people, our police officers, our lawyers, our judges. They are doing it because they have the capacity. That's why they can say whatever they want. They can go to the police. They can go and report our cases. When we have cases that are pending of some chap that got colossal sum of money, unexplained amount in a home. A journalist, or rather a freelancer, a blogger, who is just merely reporting on what other media people have said, even though he may have evidence. So why should we even dwell on matters like that? Anyway, Mwewa, Chitambala, is second brother. You are going to walk with freedom because they thought he was going to use cyberbullying law that Wakamuchita close, but they will never do that. They will never keep you quiet, and we shall never keep quiet. We will forever talk and encourage. And imweba HH tule milomba wa boss vesu, you are our brother, we love you. Please pull up your socks. This issue of forgiveness, you are not Jesus. You are haka in the hichirema from from that side. Prosecute these chaps. Put them behind bars. Show them you are in power. Bob Garin Combo, come out from the slumber. We need you. The very Garin Combo that we missed, the very Garin Combo that we used to see during election campaigns, that's the very combo we need now. Speak out to silence these DNA. Awe, twakan na tote.
Thank you. Percy?
I hope everyone is fine. The first thing I'll say is to Christopher Zulu, who said that our panel is terribly biased. So I just wanted to tell him that not all of us are UNB for the ruling party in this group. As you can see, our chair, Dr. Elias Musha, is UPND. I'm MMD. We are all from different political parties. No, you not a Okay, let me continue. Malashita correct political party. I just wanted to tell him that. And the main thing I wanted to tell Christopher Zulu is, for example, when something is wrong, the PF, all the good things they did, the buildings they built, each building they built, they got 90% of the money to go into their pockets. So I wouldn't call that a lot of people are biased here. No, we're just saying the truth. My main point, to be honest with you, out of this topic we've had today, I'll go on Tasila Lungu, because he started it herself. You know, when you can't go and, why didn't she go and look for the person who gave that information? So for me, what I would say to Tasila Lungu and our government, the investigative branches, if she could fence off 40,000 hectares and claim to be hers, how many things has she fenced off? I would like them to at least try to investigate her, the things she's got. And at her age, I don't think she's made that money to afford certain things she's affording. She's not Mark Zuckerberg, you know, whereby she did everything from the garage and he's a billionaire. She's not that. So that's why I'll stop.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Himba?
Good evening, viewers, and good evening, our viewers, comrades. Ramunsha, I'm going to talk about Ratasila, Ramayo Ratasila. I think ili ashita Ramayo Ratasila vakateka vatirore shepo because our UPND cadres valevoma panza apa. And 2 months yapita tatwa mfapu na ngumu ato vakakapwa vaive mpia nomba vakapokola vaivekate vamwanza katwishinga ni vachitambalanga ni vaheadsoko vayaikata avo katwishi elo vavekata. Meanwhile there are issues avaipaya Lawrence tavatuchitana brief ili achita ka sparksman tatwa ichivanopo lyapera vakutukila vaheadsoko awe elo vatasira ingatapale ifyo valefisha. If she's not hiding anything, why did she pick on the headsock man when he said I've got evidence against her? So vamayo vatasira nga valetali ndi vamona bali aikala zitu kavasendela kalabasha ku Nigeria okuvanwisha ingata vaivapo empia vakapenena okupena. So vatasira tureve can she sit down? And power na ivakola because she still thinks her father is still in power. She doesn't, and even if people are saying Tasila is humble and a good lady, she's not a good lady because takwato mtima wa chikuku. Avena Zambia, they've suffered and it's like she has no conscience. Mwana kashuwa kwate chikuku olowa afuka fida valela ndabasa atatu mwana kashufile walifuka. By now Tasila would have kept quiet until the water cools down. They've injured us, but we should to shita injure ngatai shiva. Let's hope Tasila you're listening. Your father injured us. Your father has blood of Zambian people. He's got a lot of questions while we say Tingafaya Vazuka, while we shit Tasila. So Tasila should sit down. Pokola. They've actually disappointed me. I'm very disappointed with the police officers because Bakonka Simon Mwansa, if as I said, they haven't given us the update. We are still waiting to hear from them. So kakesa kanonoke vale pepeka, vashama kesa yakulu. Umuntu who is just writing things on Facebook. Mr. Chitambala, Mr. Herzog is not a factor at the moment. Lelo baba shimpundu, baba teminye, umulomo wabo bawuchiteko tem na vena. Balebwata fye pa from parliament, balebwata fye. I think pressure ya fula, ukufuma mu power, naba isa dulira, I think ya fula pressure, so batekanye. What he should do, my personal advice, let him get leave to go and sort out his stress. Let him stress could leave at the floor. That is parliament na totela ba munshana leka kutuwa rufianye. But batekanye bashimpundu.
Bakafwimbi.
Whatever is happening, I just want to send Kwena, Simon Chitambala. I'm going to support Chitambala. If there's going to be any movement, if there's going to be any movement, we are going to put our muscle behind Chitambala. Ero Chitambala ngale umfa muntu wesu to alarm supporter. We are going to be there because this is nonsense. And when I feel disappointed about UPND, I don't know if it's UPND or whatever, but I've never felt so low about so much work that we have done. But Chitambala, we are there for you.
Thank you. Professor Kasonso.
Na kwena ndikulubari first mposhe kumwefuza fyonse mulishani. I've enjoyed the show. I've been watching. Hello, Chitambala na ndikulubarirwa kwa Chitambala. Bamusaifu kumusiko twakulire batu bebe yatimbira ya mumushita bayasukira. Wayasukira ni shemwine. Kuri kwalifi ati kuri councillor ushitire banki. Ero Chitambala naba nanko batunganya. Nomba kuti avula shali Chitambala ayamubika mukali ati. Uyu imisango yakwe chimona uli mwana walombere mtu wakwa John the Baptist. So naena kufuire kwa wako kuntanshu kumulolekeshapo. patumisango tulechitika mu life yabo ichakulekeresha ndevo afyo kulombako bakateka bangufyanyeko okubika abantu besu mutupoto pantu twalasanga na vloggers bambo okubakaka apa abulo mulando because abaleteka palino ni ba PF barabe nabo twafunyishe kuno bumukukulu busakala nyongo bwabo bukisanguka bwako bati bali ku bantu nabafuka pamenso yabashala ma offices balakanye ndala mashachalo so ichu apa kubefye ukwiminina no yumunensu elo nde umulando wakwe I'm sure tawakapokwati wakwa wa uyumwaicho baireka kabadora siriati ali batukire umwache pali ifya ishibe ewaleko panama kamera nabo waleko pa bakashana ali bishibe noko bale batwala ali ishibe ne pale mukutali ishibe but afiro kubika evidence together bamukaka batumunelesa mufunye ukupa kateka nomba kulukutu kali ukupandeke kakonka kaleko pa makamera na Chitambala weso akavafye bwino bane sendameni po mkwai chanu kila tukamuna na mai
aho bote walipo pale wakwita abantu atitiure tabeto umuntu atitiure the question
nga son zero bamukake ali bikaponi pa FaceTube Tepo pornography rea tumine kunu makule atesi bata lechita pornography nista bai kakakeni son zero bonse kwa di mona ba
kuka na fiebu shikuya imyapo abantu na wala mnapo abakukatisha
no
chimuna kuita tuli mkukwero walaka kishaba no
Thank you very much. This has been a presentation of TV Bakwetu. Thank you for joining us. Linda, you had something to say.
No. I'm just enjoying the commentary from Bakason.
Amaloyas vamusha muvere variko kuchita confused na vena vantu tavava coordinated uyalandechi valatarikishanya veka na vena as you said valaisa co-organized what lawyers sometimes they don't behave like intellectuals as them. Even them, they actually add more confusion to the country. So you tell them to organize themselves na vena, even when they're advising the president not to kuyalando, let them have organized voice. Echi batuperera ba Chief Justice kwati balia na pera.
Vamusha ninkwatako question yenu. Sorry, I know you want to close, but I've got a question. Yaba shimpundu regard similar to that, but the question is umuntu nga bamtumina Simon akonyo kuya kuliwa kapokola. Mula ndushi munga mupera.
That's good.
Awe shishibe whether ni Simon na nguli police call out katwishifia ipo fifia abo fia lishuba
how in general ni yaba kapuche ntweno kane Simon what in ntweno just in general
ko yakanga bakapokolanga bakwita ni investigating a crime nomba ni crime nshi yabo fiashi umuntu ngaka nati dewishi nomba bakapokola kuti baya mupatikisha ati wewishi
afuira DNA test kabiri bamwe
the issue is
abana tubabona abana bale abaparire bawishi efo turefu abasta DNA test tuli bana babandume yabo tetitwishi
mistake twakwata pa Zambia bamusha ne kuti we mistake police call out na summons from the court police call outs tema summons. You are not under any legal obligation to go to police. They can come for you if they have a probable cause. They want to arrest you, they have a case for you. And if they issue a call out, they are simply requesting you to accompany them to the station. And you are you can simply say no or yes. It's up to you.
What about Simon?
But to court, ngawakan, they will cite you with contempt. Ukakakwa. Because now it's the court of law that is in the name of the president that is summoned you to go to court. And ngawachita walezwenga bare kuchitra issue ka bench warrant akesa kwika from civil to criminal. It cannot contain like that. So
what's the difference between a Simon and the call out? Na inena fulunga na mani.
No call out.
I think we can.
Balo ya nchito ya Monica.
I have dealt with police call-outs for so many years. I know what I'm talking about. Ask about John Sanda.
Call out kuya mkulondola kuli bakapokola. Someone kuya mkulungula before a judge. So akutukusanye. But uishiba uishiwa mwana nyingina. That's why kusia mafumo we always err on the side of Namayo. Until start to prove otherwise. So Ganawa Kusonta, you are guilty until proven innocent.
Fue matrilinio tuarishi befintu. Chikuru ni bajida bamufiere bakabe imfumu.
No, the girl knows the truth.
Exactly. They just want to fetch something.
To all of our viewers on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn, thank you. Every show takes a character of its own, and so we by no means claim to be very consistent. So we want to every program ila kusana ko effective bakwetu. So mwindishania yo kwaile lota tuachiranda kona mfimo pa YouTube mwana best. So system yacho ko pea kusana ero mwirarwisha ma hots noko babalanya ati yo Linda befi Barbara befi Gladys
bachafu abalinda tibalinda babachiteko bapange uka comment nomba namubachimfya bamunshi
TV bakwetu, we are just one team and kula badimo nabamo tabarandirepo namukamo. It's okay because natwishwa we are in for the long haul. Echo kanshibane mwebantu besu muira tuwisha no kutuparanya no kutulinganya. Every person is unique and everything else. Good night, God bless you, and God bless our country.